enter by the narrow gate. And Jesus tells us that way is hard, for it leads to life, and those who find it are few. Who are such? And I want us to be in that kind of status. In the psalm, the response there, we were trying to respond to the question, who may abide in your tent? In other words, who would enter by the narrow gate, which is hard but leads to life? Who? And we are helped to understand that one who walks without fault. One who walks without fault. It's not easy to walk without fault. To walk without fault. Every time you might do something, it might not be pleasing to everybody. Not pleasing to everybody. Not everybody might find a home in what you are doing. But you try the best to walk without fault. You and I know ourselves, what our relationship is with God, what our relationship is with our neighbor, what our relationship is with our own selves. If it's with God, if it's with the neighbor, and with yourself, how can we purify ourselves if the relationship is not good? Maybe the invitation is to go for confession. Maybe the invitation is to go and reconcile with your neighbor. Maybe the invitation is to just learn to forgive yourself and be easy with life situations. The other thing is, who does what is just? Again, it's not easy to be fair. It's not easy to be fair. By nature, you may always say, by nature, man is selfish. Man is selfish. I want to gain things for my own self. Once myself is satisfied, then other people can be thought of. Yeah. So, me first, then another person next follows. So to be just, I like the definition that St. Augustine gave for justice. He says, justice means giving what is due. What is due. What is due. You've been able to do this much, you deserve that lot. What is due. Even though it has its own weaknesses, but that is how it defines it. Giving what is due. What is due. That person who does what is just. It's time to draw people towards God, you do it. It's time to attend to 1, 2, 3, 4 things according to the agreement, you get it done. It's time to relate, you are in the moment. That is justice, giving what is due. What is due. Speaks the truth from his or her own heart. His or her own heart. You find many places, like at the border, this is a corruption-free zone. God is good. This is a corruption-free zone. Wait, when you get into the system, you realize that this is a corruption-full zone. Okay? Yes. Yesterday we were having a conversation with one of us, and there's this DHL. So I was expecting parcel from DHL. And normally they tell you, we will send you an email with a code for tracking. So when you see that email, then you know your parcel is near. And he was getting late with his stuff. And then when he shared with a friend, the friend told him, told the friend that, I'm waiting for an email, that's what they told me. So when it comes, then I'll be able to go and pick my parcel at this place. So the guy said, this is Uganda. This is Uganda. If you don't go by yourself to the place where the stuff is coming from, you'll wait even for a full month before it comes. So he decided to stop all the other programs and he drove to that place. As soon as he reached there, even the parcel had not been sent out from the place. Lucky enough, they told him, what's your tracking number? Checked it up, picked it, and then gave it to him. He would have waited for all that period of time. Nothing has happened. How many times, you've met police on the way and then they stop? Where is the driving license? So you give it to them. But still, they are not satisfied with the fact that you have everything. And then they look at the tires. Then all of a sudden, parking lights. So by just bad luck, one of the lights is not working. Aha! Even Jesus tells us, reconcile with your colleague. Now if it lands on you as a priest or religious, they say, Father, you read the Bible? I say, yes, I do. Don't you remember somewhere Jesus saying that, deal out your issues with your guy before the case gets beyond? And they're like, I know that, but I don't think sometimes it appeals to the situation. But anyway, that's the thing. So, to speak out the truth, that, okay, in Tanzania sometimes it's quite easy, because whatever penalty is accorded to you on the road, the book is clear, and they have their book, 30,000 Tanzanian shillings. Kosa ni hili, this is the issue, and the fine is this. They give you the receipt, and then you go with it. They won't accept bribe. Maybe I would add the word. They won't accept bribe easily. Yeah. But he who speaks the truth from his heart. It's right. Who does not slander with his tongue? I think many of us would fall prey, victims in that situation. Rumor mongering, gossip, talking ill, blackmail, all those kinds of stuff. These are very big gets. It's because we enjoy that. Gossiping is a very enjoyable experience. Talking about another person, rumor mongering, talking about ill of another person. It's very enjoyable. Yet, Jesus is inviting us to tone down. Who does no wrong to a neighbor? Tit for tat? You already say tit for tat is? Scratch my back and I scratch?
Yes.
Who casts no slur on a friend? Nipe changu na mimi nikupe chako. Who looks with scorn on the wicked? Such is the big gate, but the narrow gate is the person who honors those who fear the Lord. Let us pray for that grace today, that we may respond to God's call today, even when it might be so taxing, and even tasking. For that is the way that He chose for us, the way of the cross. Good enough today we reflect on the sorrowful mysteries. That the Lord help us, that we may unite ourselves with Him and be able to follow Him in the way of His life and love. The Lord be with you.
Amen.